heard that. Recording in progress. Class has begun. Welcome, welcome to Tuesday afternoon in COM 2300, History of Mass Media. We greatly appreciate it. You know what? You all did really good. Graded the essays. You folks did tremendous. More A's than anything. The one couple little bits and pieces here or there. First, got a B or less. The issue is mostly when you said something, you didn't back it up with something from your sources. Don't just list the sources, use them. Say, I think the statue should be taken down because according to Ohio State University, the statues are there to intimidate people. Or according to another source, the statues are there to remind us of difficult things in our past. Again, back up what you say with an outside source. Don't just list them at the end. Use the sources to back up and support your arguments. Most of you got A's. It's really, really a good job. A 95 is an A. Nothing's perfect. And Canvas won't let me do 105 out of 100. So, you know, the 100 is for something that's really, really above and beyond. Anyway, that's the grading. You all did good. This week, it's kind of a slightly light week. We're going to finish up the book chapter, the blah, 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 yada, 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 from that STAM book that gives us the background on studying history. And then next week we'll have a test. I'll review for the test on next Tuesday, the 31st, and September 2nd, September 1st through 3rd, we'll have the test. So and that'll be online. To keep your interest up, as of Thursday after class, I will post a 5-point mini quiz. You know, just straight from one question, 5 points, straight from our presentations this week, just to keep your interest up. So I'll post that Thursday, and you'll have 2 days just to do that. So that's how a bill becomes a law. I appreciate, again, y'all did really good on the essays. I'm very, very pleased. And next week we'll have a test, and I will review for the test on Tuesday. So we got a question in the chat room. The test will be posted online Wednesday through Friday. It is not during class time. You can have the day off for class time to take the test, but it's not going to only be on class time. I want to give you every chance to do it. Okay. What we're doing today, straight from the book, is straight from the book is interpreting history. You know, that's what we're doing this week. You take the facts. The fact was Bedford Forrest was a Confederate general, a successful one from Tennessee. He was also a founder of the Klan, and he owned enslaved people. We have a statue of him in the state capitol. The question is, so what? What do we do about it? Is it a good thing to honor him? It is a bad thing. It depends on how you interpret it. The facts are, there he is, he's a controversial figure. The interpretation is what do we do about it? That's what we do in history. And quite frankly, that's what we do in the media. Every news story is a list of facts. And then the question is, so what? Okay. Why interpretation and not just the facts? Well, why do we have to take facts? You tell me, anybody. Why do we have to do some interpretations? Because at the bottom here, that it usually means there is some bias. Then why do we live with bias? We always talk about media bias. Because without some interpretation, it's just a list. Again, with the Bedford Forest, the statue is there, so what? COVID is here. We're doing this online. Vaccinations are your best defense, but they're not perfect. Those are the facts. What do you do about it? Again, a lot comes down to interpretation. Truth is, what do you do about the facts? You're both right on the Bedford Forest issue. The truth is, we should remember our past and that bad things happen. The truth is that the statues were put there to intimidate people of color and keep them in place. How do you square both truths? That's the challenge. That's for all of us as consumers of media and consumers of history to decide. And as citizens, that's for us to decide. The interpretation and what do you do about it, that's the truth. And the truth can be squishy. In communication, again, it comes down to bias. And every word choice you make, every organizational choice is a subjective one. You have to assume that there's always going to be some bias, but the key is you need to base your information on fact and not just make it up. So however liberal, conservative, whatever, if it's based on fact, you have something to talk about. If it's based on lies, you're not helping anybody. Oop. I had to let somebody in. Okay. Interpretation and reinterpretation. History comes from time. We're always reinterpreting. We have new material, new perspectives, new ideas. Again, when I was a kid, you had the General Lee. You had the Dukes of Hazzard. They had the car named the General Lee and the Confederate flag on the roof. That's considered bad taste now. Again, things change over time. New ideas, watch this.
Wait, before you scroll away, will you sign my petition to end the filibuster?
Well, we can get the other side too.
Hello, and welcome to History Pod. On the 19th of July, 1799, an announcement was made of the discovery of a slab of rock covered in carvings by a French lieutenant, Pierre-François Bouchard, in the area around Fort Julien, near the Egyptian town of Rashid, or, as it is known, Rosetta. The Rosetta Stone was soon identified as the key to understanding hieroglyphics, but it would be another 25 years before the ancient Egyptian language was actually deciphered. Napoleon's campaign in Egypt had begun the previous year with the dual aim of protecting French trade in the area and undermining Britain's access to India. However, Napoleon's force also included 167 scientists and scholars who had been tasked with various jobs including researching a possible Suez Canal and creating accurate maps of the country. It was while some of these engineers were working with the army to strengthen Fort Julien that the granodiorite block we now know as the Rosetta Stone was uncovered. It was soon sent away to the newly created Institut d'Egypte in Cairo, who announced the find and devised ways to make copies of the inscriptions. These soon made their way to universities and museums around the world. The carvings on the stone are a decree written in 3 different scripts, but all say effectively the same thing: ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, Demotic, and ancient Greek. It is because the scripts convey the same message that transliteration between them was able to take place.
So the bottom
When the
line
British defeated the
here is this new discovery showed that you can translate hieroglyphics to Greek. So this allowed the British and the French to decipher hieroglyphics. And what did that tell us? For example, at the Hunter Museum, we had some hieroglyphics last year, and it talked about the resurrection from the death of Osiris. Again, a resurrection story from the Egyptian that we wouldn't have heard of before. And of course, the Jews were enslaved in Egypt, and maybe they got an idea of the resurrection from being in Egypt. Those ideas come from history. Let me get this. Blah, blah, blah. They're gonna run out on me. Okay. The other thing I wanted you to see, another discovery before we run out of time.
Every person living on Earth today belongs to the same species, Homo sapiens. And humans worldwide have always been curious about our origins.
De onde que nós somos?
Hebraica é Silvia.
वह Colombia.
हम कहाँ से आए हैं?
Sisi tunatoka wapi?
我们从哪里来?
من أين نحن نأتي? Where do we come from?
¿De dónde venimos?
We can now trace our origins back at least 6 million years to Africa, where the earliest humans evolved. Several early human species emerged there and survived in a variety of environments and climates before evolving into new species or going extinct. About 2 million years ago, some populations of early humans began to spread beyond Africa. Over hundreds of thousands of years, populations moved into Asia, where they faced the challenges of yet new environments and climates. New species continue to evolve and eventually go extinct. Then, about 200,000 years ago, a new species evolved in Africa. These were the first modern humans, the first members of our own species, the ancestors of every human being alive today. We can all trace our DNA back to these African origins. Over time, populations of Homo sapiens spread throughout Africa.
Darn cat.
Into Europe and Western Asia. In some of these places, early human species lived on the verge of extinction. This journey of Homo sapiens began during challenging times. There were extreme droughts and monsoons in Africa, and other environmental upsets there and in Asia. At one point, our species population was reduced to no more than 10,000 adults.
Hear that? The DNA tells us that during a time of climate change, 100,000 years ago, only the smartest and the strongest of us survived. Our population is down to 10,000 people. And every one of us on this call, every one of us on campus, in this town, in this world, are descendants of those 10,000 people. How do we know that? From the DNA. You extract the DNA, we are 99% similar. Hey, cousin, welcome aboard. We're all related, whether we're liberal or conservative or whatever. We are all related.
We nearly became extinct. But we are an adaptable species. Our ability to use our human traits to meet new challenges enabled us to survive. While earlier human species became extinct, modern humans continue to spread around the world. By about 17,000 years ago, Homo sapiens was not only a worldwide species, we were the sole surviving human species. We left behind a trail of fossils, evidence of our epic worldwide journey. Like some earlier humans, we evolved differences in skin color and hair texture as we adapted to different environments. But these differences are only skin deep. They fall along a continuum and do not separate modern humans into the categories some people call races. The DNA of all modern humans is 99.9% identical. You are part of this 6 million year story of adaptation and survival. It is written in the language of your genes, in every cell of your body. With the billions of other humans living today, you can say,
Sisi
wote ni wanadamu.
我们都是同一种生物。
Somos todos uma só espécie.
हम सब एक ही प्रजाति के हैं।
Wir sind alle von einer Art.
Ai ninebu otsunode.
Somos todos una especie. We are all one species.
And we're all related. As you can see, I'm running out of time. I have to upgrade my thing here. Give me a second, and I'll fix that.
Woohoo! I said, we done? Oh, my thing so. Oh,